Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Monday, March 24th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got WWE Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Glasgow, Scotland, home of Drew McIntyre. Can't wait to be able to see what we get into this afternoon. Let's get it, baby. All right, let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get settled in for some Monday Night Raw at a special time, 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern. And I had to hit you with the Braun Breaker and the Penta. Obviously, they're going for it for the IC title here tonight. And obviously, I got to give Liv her due, obviously being beautiful as ever. And she gets on the thumb for just being Liv Morgan. Let's go, baby. I am ready. And I appreciate Odin getting it started off on a good note before the stream even started. $20 dono. I imagine you'll have some photos that you'll be able to send me that we can throw up. Shout out to the natural disasters for making it to the WWE Hall of Fame, earthquake and typhoon. And I imagine we'll sprinkle a few photos of that here during the broadcast. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Way to bring that electricity to the stream to start it off. I appreciate you more than words can say. Appreciate you. Natman in the building, what's good? And I imagine this is going to be a pretty good Monday Night Raw, especially with the crowd. Matches may not be for everyone. But again, the energy that you get from the European crowds is like a Canadian crowd. It's much better than anything in the United States. So I am here. I am ready. Let's go. Britt in the building. How are you? Glad to see you in the room. And hopefully everything was okay for you today. I know you feel like you were getting a little bit under the weather. I hope that you're feeling slightly better. And I'm glad that you're able to watch here live Monday Night Raw with your boy on the NWSF in Glasgow, Scotland, home of Drew McIntyre. Let's fucking go. I did notice that, on some of the streaming links, Odin, it does allow you to go there as well if you're not able to get it through Netflix directly, just to give you a heads up. I was kind of searching around, through some of the streaming links to see if Monday Night Raw would pop up on some of them. And it is on there for a few. So I'm not sure if that'll be able to help you or not. But hopefully it will. And I'm hoping that we end up getting an amazing event here today. Jey Uso, will his tag team partner be Drew McIntyre? Will it be, because obviously they don't have Drew on the card, but it being in his hometown, you would assume, if it's me, I would assume that the, tag team partner, for Jay tonight will be Drew McIntyre, but they could go a different route. And at some point, we're going to see Rey Fenix since he is signed with WWE. Odin in the building, what's good? Natman in the building, what's good? Britt in the building, what's good? Crunch Time in the building, what's good? No worries, my guy. I mean, it was a Larson, weekend. He should have won the Xfinity race. I watched all the trucks. He got spun out on lap 45, but somehow in 45 laps was able to get to the front and win. In the Xfinity race, he led over 100 laps. Should have won that race, but he had a driver stall. And obviously that cost him the chance in the restart at the end. And here we are starting it off with heel John Cena. Let's go. And I imagine Cena at any given moment can cook Cody on the mic. But again, this will be interesting to see, the buildup, every single week between Cena and Cody Rhodes. Obviously, Netflix is going to be your primary, location for this. But if for whatever reason, if you got issues with that and you need a streaming link to be able to watch it, I got you as well. Just message me or let me know on here. Cena coming out with the last time is now towel. But instead of, giving it to a kid or, giving it to anybody, We'll see if he even gives it to, I mean, obviously being in the heel mode, you would assume that he will not give any towels out like he used to since he is heel Cena. And as he's making his way down the entrance ramp, he has not given it to a kid or a fan. And that stays true with his heel persona. And again, we got one more European tour visit next Monday, and then we're back to normal at 5 o'clock Pacific. Did not acknowledge Stu. And obviously we knew that, that was going to happen. As soon as he became, heel John Cena, there is no more acknowledging the cameraman. That's a good question, though. She said that monster. Oh, I love you guys. And we got Pat McAfee in the booth. Obviously, he had some prior commitments, so he wasn't able to make the European tour in previous weeks, but he is there with Michael Cole. Not to say that anyone that they bring up, like Corey Graves, isn't good enough to be with Michael Cole. Anybody you pair up with Michael Cole will do a pretty good job, but nice to see Pat there. Cena says, is something on your mind? Is there something that you want to say to me? And it's just kind of hilarious where when he was a face with the theme music, it was always John Cena sucks. And then now, going with the heel turn, everything is coming full circle. It's because you finally understand what is going on. I turned the spotlight on you. And now you know that I can pick apart any one of you random ticket holders and rip you to shreds. Right. Tell him, Cena. Yeah, well, especially with the Mariners, Jacob, starting off on Thursday at 7:10, when they play in the morning, I will be streaming as early as 9 or 10 a.m. Pacific time, depending on the Mariners if they have an East Coast trip. So. WWE posted it. And you are now the crowd is fuck you, Cena. Oh, they're bleeping out the fuck you part. Come on, Netflix. If the crowd wants to say fuck you, let them have it on there. It's on Netflix. It's not on regular TV. And I imagine if this fuck you Cena chant will go, for the rest of the term. The one guy who actually always tells the truth. For all of you whose best idea is to use profanity. You are the ones who love to watch and rewatch and meme a poor defenseless little. Odin, do you got Netflix on your smart TV at your house? To sing about anyone here because you are all horrible people. Oh, Cena telling everyone they're horrible people. I love it. Tonight, you get to find out how I make you pay for the abuse you have put me through. For 25 years, I have listened to your lies and your noise. And even though Cena and Rock are old as shit now, they can still cook anybody in the back on the mic. And much love and respect to those guys. Now the shut the fuck up. And it's not going to be just European crowds that will be doing this. It might actually get the American crowds in the United States onto the European Canadian level with this Cena heel turn. While you were chanting profanity at the top of your lungs, I've been paying attention.
I've been learning from you, quizzing you.
Yes, they're in Scotland, Glasgow, home of Drew McIntyre, who wasn't on the original card, but I do think he might be Jey Uso's secret partner. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, if you were going to have anybody come out with Jey, that would make sense to do the fans a solid. And, unless Drew ends up just having like a backstage interview or like a run-in or something. But we'll see. And looking forward to Braun Breaker and Penta for the IC title tonight. Hence the thumb.
The truth is, your life is sad. Because this is the best it's going to get. This is all you have. But to me, you have been nothing more than an experiment. You have been rats in a cage. Oh, you don't believe me? Pick out any moment in my career, and I'll tell you.
Yeah.
From you. When I led, you thought I was tough. When I spoke, you were inspired. When I was edgy.
Yeah, Mox is insane, man. He's ECW through and through, even though he's in AEW. But yeah, the baseball bat with the nails in it for sure. Mox is insane. He's probably the closest thing to like kind of Mick Foley, where they don't really care about their bodies and they'll do whatever it takes. Same thing with Darby Allin, and I got love and respect for guys like that.
The most important thing you ever told me was in April 2005. It was a day I gave you my greatest idea. I gave you the WWE Spinner Championship.
The spinner belt he's bringing up. He's like, I brought you the best thing, the spinner belt.
All you have to do is Google negative comments about the spinner belt. You all told me loud and clear how stupid I was because I changed your championship into a toy, and the championship is not a toy. The championship is a symbol of the center of all this, and the toy belt I made for you disrespected tradition and disrespected your legacy. Listen closely, because that was the biggest mistake you ever made. In that one single moment, you were vulnerable enough to actually tell you what means the most to you in this life.
It sold really well, and it still sells really well today. And then obviously Rated R Superstar Edge had his own version with the R in front, if you remember from back in the day. I was more of a traditional like WCW big gold guy, or the winged eagle belt, a lot of the old school stuff from the IC title and the old school WCW WWF belts. But I don't think I would go as far as saying I hated the spinner belt. I think it was kind of catchy. I never bought it, but again, it was definitely innovative and different, to say the least. I've seen a lot of belts that are worse than that one. But I see your point, the spinner belt isn't going to be for everyone.
Championship, the center of every superstar of this entire.
Cena on the mic here in Glasgow, Scotland, starting the show off, and you can pretty much do that all the way to WrestleMania if you wanted to.
Taking it home with me, and leaving all of you to create a brand new toy belt, because the real one comes home.
Nice wing eagle.
The last real champion in WWE. Revenge is best served cold. I pay you back by ripping your heart out and forcing you to watch as I just walk away with your memories, with your traditions and your dreams, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
WrestleMania edition spinner belt? I don't think I've seen that. Or maybe if I did, it might have been something I can't recall. All right, here we got Cody Rhodes coming out. What do you think about that clip that I sent you with Jericho and the little girl that was in the front row for the show? It wasn't even televised, but she cooked him, man. She was like 5, 6, 7 years old, gave him the finger. He came over and they were, obviously going back and forth with each other. Man, that's some good stuff, man. You don't really see that too often. Let's go. I mean, theme music is everything, Again, if you can talk on the mic and you got obviously great in-ring skills, it's a total package. But then when you can talk on the mic, cut a promo, cook some people, be amazing in the ring, have an aura or a vibe or a persona, and then have an amazing theme song, it really does take your career to the next level. This song, I really like Judas with Jericho, even though he changes his persona, it seems like every 6 months in AEW. But I thought Judas was one of the best theme songs he's ever had. And then obviously CM Punk, whether you love him or hate him, same thing with Cody Rhodes. As soon as you hear it, whether you like the guy or not, it's almost impossible not to be able to, either sing along or kind of get into, the song itself, in my opinion. And definitely makes your hair stand up just a little bit. Oh, was it a boy? I know they were talking about if it was a girl or a boy. Initially, when the post out, it said it was a girl, but I thought it was a boy, But again, with the hat on or the little AEW beanie that was on, it was close. You couldn't really fully tell, because it could have passed for a boy or a girl, just with the long hair and whatnot. So. Well, one person in the comments said it was a boy, but I don't know if that person is related, like the dad or whatever. Anybody could have just said, "Hey, that's a boy." But initially, when it came out, that was a girl. So, but you should watch it; it's funny. Yeah, I don't know how people can be behind or ahead. But again, I guess it just depends on your Netflix or your, your wherever you are located in the United States. But the Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. And again, they find ways in this European crowd, to have different type of chants. And I love it, man. I wish the United States crowd had a little bit more creativity and passion, because for me, anything that I watch is about passion and energy. And, and that's why I'm drawn to people that have dreams and goals and people, that pursue things that are tough, but then you have that passion and that energy. And anytime that you have that, it really makes for must-see TV. Facts.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Yeah, Cody and CM Punk brought some kids into the ring last night through the house show.
Don't you think you need to take it away from me first? Admittedly, I made a mistake last week. I looked at you, I talked about old John, I talked about new John. I didn't look hard enough, hearing it, seeing it now. You are clearly sincere. You are clearly angry.
But you only have really one, face that is going above and beyond, and it is Cody Rhodes. Just like how John Cena went kind of above and beyond, earlier in his career. When you are the face of the company or super face of the company, those are the things that, those guys typically will do. Making kids have some beautiful memories. That's for damn sure.
in the building.
Yeah, Odin, I saw that. They're like, oh, bad parenting. But you're at a wrestling show, and just the fact that Jericho broke character and, and then when the girl or boy lifted up the shirt partly to see the abs and pointed at how Jericho doesn't have any, man, I mean, even the crew that was with him, they started to lose it. So I love it, man.
Here's what bothers me. I don't have to unload and unpack our history, but you of all people, John Cena, should know how hard I fought, how violently I fought, just to hold this one time, just to validate one name. And if I understand you correctly, you were saying that the timeline of all of professional wrestling hangs in the balance because of your vanity? You want to take this, right? That's what you said. You want to take it? I'll give you the opportunity right now. Take it, John.
I want to be able to see some matches with Cody Rhodes and John Cena before we get to WrestleMania. But again, the build up by just talking shit, cutting promo, talking shit, I want to be able to see some matches. But again, this build up is, it's one of the biggest buildups WWE has had in quite a minute. Because again, if Cena just stays face, this isn't really relevant, but the simple fact that he goes heel, more eyeballs are on the product. And again, a shocking twist to be able to go heel at the end of the career. I mean, that's really what, John Cena needed instead of just going out as the face that was, kind of just going through the motions. And I don't think people would have cared as much, but now it gives a reason for people to care about him in his last year, whether you love him or you hate him.
I cannot let you do it. I cannot have that on my conscience. Right now, I need you to see me. I need you to see all of them. And I need you to understand the psychotic need to take this does not outweigh our right to keep it. The champ is no longer standing there. The champ is standing in the center of this ring. You'll see you walking away empty-handed. John Cena, that is how you walk away from WrestleMania.
I hope we see that little kid, 15 years from now, like going up the ranks in the business. That would be awesome. I would have loved to have been able to see a throwback, Word Life, John Cena, or even a new theme music and a new, vibe, out of him with new gear and whatnot. But obviously playing the heel, he's telling the fans, you don't get anything new. And I get that. But I also kind of feel with John Cena, a little bit of the mystique is missing without having The Rock and Travis Scott with him. Because when they ended up doing what they did to Cody, it kind of felt like NWO with Hall, Nash, and Hogan. And I feel that I know that Rock is busy, and who cares if Travis Scott is being Dennis Rodman in that role and he's there or not. But just the simple fact of having this kind of heel faction, and if you were able to have Rock and Travis Scott come out with them. And again, you don't want to take any of the attention away from John Cena, but I think that if they were able to do something like that, the popularity for WWE would even be higher than what it is right now, because then you couldn't just wait to see what would happen next. What kind of dirty game and, dirty method, are The Rock, Travis Scott, and Cena going to run? And, and then again, I'm not saying that you have to have the NWO all over again, but I feel like in another alternate universe, an opportunity definitely was missed. But I get it why they're doing what they're doing. But again, you can't make everybody happy in the wrestling business. But I'm definitely excited about this with Penta going for the Penta Continental Championship versus Braun Breaker. And we have seen titles get dropped on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT pretty regularly. Like, it's not that crazy to think that someone could actually win the belt on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT when in the past, in the Vince McMahon era, we're talking about maybe once a year, maybe that would happen. But now, it seems like once every couple months or even a couple belts in a 1 month may change hands. You might have belts change hands in the same show. So, the kind of opportunity for surprise and keeping us on our heels, just like in the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars era with Nitro, as well as Monday Night Raw, I feel like we're getting that same type of vibe, and you don't really know what to expect on any given night. Yeah, and the main reason that they're, having him there is because they use, some of his music on the show, like when it comes on, and if you don't already know, you'll hear it's kind of like when they have a cut scene, when they're waiting in between matches and stuff, and then they'll end up playing it in the background while you have Pat or Michael Cole talking. But just that little kind of techno kind of rhythmic beat that you hear, that's from him. So obviously him normally rapping over that song, but a lot of times if WWE likes you and they like your music and they can cross promote, try to get the Travis Scott fan base as well as using that for, some type of theme. Everything is cross promotion. Everything is calculated. Everything is for money. All right. We got Jey Uso. It better be Drew McIntyre with him. Let's go. Yeah. Is it Jimmy? Jimmy and Jay reunited? Whoa. Maybe they have something else special set up for Drew McIntyre. I was just trying to find ways to get Drew on the show, being in Scotland, and they already know that. I mean, you can't do the fans dirty and not have him at least show up and acknowledge him on the Jumbotron. But I guess Jimmy and Jay, huh? Wow. Okay. I love this because, again, after you have them kind of go on their solo runs, you didn't really think you would see Jimmy and Jay, together, until maybe after Mania, until after the dust settles and we see if, Jay wins over Gunther, which he will, right? Pretty cool. And these are the type of fucking things that I'm fucking talking about, in WWE, where no matter how much you think wrestling, even if you've been watching for 30 or 40 years like me and Odin, and we feel like we got a really good pulse, on low-key wrestling, the popular wrestling, in the big companies as well as the mid-tier companies. But I feel like WWE, ever since Triple H took over and with the writers and everything that they got going on, I feel like it is the most exciting since the Attitude Era and the Nitro Era, and the most unpredictable, and it makes for great fucking TV. You know what I mean? It gives people a reason to go out of your fucking way to watch Raw, and then on top of that, SmackDown, and on top of that, NXT. I love this shit. I'm going to be watching this shit till I fucking die. I mean, I've always been a collector, so, obviously with the accessories and the figures, limited edition T-shirts, vintage T-shirts, anything, vintage wrestling rings, anything. Big part of my life, and it always will be. Yeah, but I mean, regardless if they have beef, to a previous angle or storyline, it's in Glasgow, Scotland. You could have had them pair up. You could have done that. Especially if they didn't have any other point to put him in the show. So, all the stuff is written in storyline. Obviously, are there some people in the back that truly don't like each other? Like CM Punk and Seth. Of course, there's going to be some of that real, heat and real hate and whatnot, but they could have done it if they wanted to. But I actually like this better, having Jimmy and Jay. It's a surprise. I love it. Pat's got the kilt on, representing there in Scotland. I love it. Okay. A-Town, down under. We're gonna get Ray Phoenix on TV. I mean, he already signed. So, and if you're thinking with the Chad Gable situation and whatnot, that masked person, I'm 99.999% sure, looking at photos of him in AEW and a side by side, jawline. I mean, you can't really tell with the mask, because they're wearing a fucking mask, but you can look at like kind of body frame, and like jawline. And I think it was, but again, we'll find out, if it was just someone else random, but it kind of makes sense. We know he's coming into the company, and obviously it wasn't Chad Gable, which we're going to be able to see here tonight, which I love that as well. Yeah, Pat in the kilt, baby. And then the house show stuff, I did post something on my socials where you had CM Punk kind of breaking character with Cody, and then they ended up bringing in like a brother-sister pair or two young kids into the crowd in the house show yesterday. So I love that, you know what I mean? Because, again, you're not going to get very many opportunities, where wrestlers are going to go above and beyond. Everyone is just trying to stay in character, be a face, be a heel, and it's cool when you see people, have special moments, like the people that got Cody Rhodes' weight belt in AEW and WWE. That's like the coolest thing that you can get from a wrestler, in the business. And, even cooler than getting Bret Hart's plastic stunner shades, which I would have lost my shit for if I was in the front row rich enough as a kid, and to have Bret Hart put the stunner shade plastic shades on. There's not too many things that you can actually get from the wrestlers anymore. But I would assume every Bret Hart kid, for the most part, probably still has those glasses. They would be super dumb to get rid of something like that. A-Town, down under. It's kind of funny how you've seen Austin Theory was Vince's boy. And then, obviously, once he got cooked on the mic by Cena, his career has never been the same. And now he is stuck having to be relevant in a tag team instead of being a solo wrestler. I mean, if anything, Theory should go to AEW. I mean, again, if they're going to continue to pay him, but when his contract is up and if WWE does not re-sign him, I think maybe going to AEW would be good for him. I mean, there's so many guys on the roster here. There's not a lot of room for you. And if Vince isn't pushing you, maybe you'll be happier somewhere else. Yeet. Man, Jimmy and Jay and Pat. Let's go. Pat in a kilt. Surprise Jimmy. I fucking love it, man. And we'll be doing, I think, Blazers and Cavs, tomorrow at 7. Wednesday, we might have the day off. And then Thursday is the MLB debut for many, many teams. And I'll be doing the Mariners and the A's at 7 on Thursday. And then we'll be doing quite a few Mariner games moving forward after that. But I'll still want to be able to do a Monday Night Raw as often as possible. And if I have to give up the trucks and the Xfinity, I'm okay with that. But I will try to do some NASCAR still. It still is a big part of my life, and I don't want to not do anything NASCAR, especially if I'm going to be continuing to watch the races. Yeet. Poppy and Baby Metal. I don't know who Baby Metal is, but I saw Poppy, at the NXT TakeOver Portland right before COVID hit in the front row. And I was right there in front of Poppy. And I know that she's been able to still kind of keep herself relevant since that COVID period, which is great. But you obviously would know, but I have no idea. But you can send me something if you got something, or if when it comes out. I'm definitely willing to listen. It doesn't matter if it's metal or rock or alternative. I grew up on hip hop, but I find myself kind of leaning more into rock, and obviously a lot of intro music for wrestlers is going to be metal or rock. Not necessarily alternative, but I'm kind of wide open with music, and I feel that's good. Different music for different moods, right? Anyone that's actually not been a hater towards other genres does realize that. You're missing out if you only listen to one genre. Waller with the clothesline, big miss. Oh, Jimmy got laid out by Theory. Holy fuck. That was stiff. Jeez. Damn, Theory. Theory trying to get his contract renewed. Oh, man. Little clothesline there. Little chop with the open palm. Bang! And obviously a nice little slap to the leg for the extra sound and effect. Nice sell, though, there by Jimmy. And, nice camera angers. Yeah, there by the cameraman. It's all about the angles, And again, the better camera angles, WWE has been great at that. Backstage interviews, following the wrestlers as they go out into the ring, and then switching the camera angles to the right angle that's going to be most aesthetically pleasing for us fans. Because in certain companies, they would move the camera too much. It's like, we don't need 20 fucking camera angles in 30 seconds. That's like, okay, we get it. It's cool, but, it becomes a little obnoxious. You want to be able to kind of focus on the match too, while getting the cool camera angles from time to time. Facts. Yeet. Waller. And on my Netflix here, it's got a timer in the top right. So I assume everyone else is getting the commercial that in between where this is off and they can't see it, or it's in like a split screen mode. But I got it full screen here, and they haven't went away from it. Because you remember, they usually do a few advertisements throughout the show, and sometimes you end up losing a little bit of a match or two throughout the night. Theory with the reverse headlock there to Jimmy. Sarah in the building. How are you? Monday Night Raw in Glasgow, Scotland has been good. You will watch after you get home from work. And again, Cena opened the show, but we won't say anything else beyond that. So that way it'll be something that you can end up watching. So, but again, that's not going to be a big surprise. Cena opening the show or Cody Rhodes, you could go that route pretty much over and over and over again. And they've done it for a couple weeks. But at some point, I want to see them wrestle. It doesn't have to be each other. And then, we'll see where it goes. But promo, shit talk, let's fight. No. And then, eventually a little bit of scrapping, and then people come in and break it up, the wrestling world that we live in. A-Town Down Under. Austin Theory's career has really gone downhill. I mean, if anyone wishes that Vince was still on board, it's that motherfucker right there. Okay, now the timer went off, and now it's black. Okay, and then it says we're back. So I don't know. The timer might be for other people in other parts of the world, but I like the fact they got the little drone cam here. Oh, I love this. When I see drone cams go above the ring, it gives me a ECW vibe when they were in the ballroom, just in that cheap little New York ballroom, and just the over-the-top camera over the ring where you can kind of see it in a diamond. I don't know what it is about that fucking camera angle, but but I love it. It really brings me back to my childhood of like RVD and Sabu. I mean, anyone that's watched, ECW, you understand. You get me. K-pop metal. Like Korean pop? Interesting. I could see them collaborating, though, like the sound of how poppy sounds. Yeet. I'm just so stoked that we got Jay and Jimmy instead of Jay and Drew or Jay and just some like, rando, Like everything is so fucking calculated for WWE now. I feel like, it's like even you could be a goddamn wrestling scientist and you still don't know what's going on unless you're Triple H. And I love that. And there's still going to be moments where we're, as, wrestling, quote unquote, hardcore fans, experts, so to speak, that we will get some predictions right still. It's not like we're going to be wrong every time. But when you end up being wrong about a prediction or just being wrong in general, but then it ends up being something cooler than what you thought, then you're like, okay with it. You're like, okay, cool. Like, I don't care about being right or wrong. This is just awesome. And they're trying to do some creative Uso chants there in the crowd. You can tell they're trying there in Scotland. They did the Usos, but then it didn't catch on. And then they're trying to go, ooh, and then so on the other side. I don't know what it is about American crowds just being so goddamn lazy. Let's step it up. Like with these European crowds and Canadian crowds. Bye-bye. Well, obviously they are extremely popular. 55 million 5 years ago. They got to be like one of the top dogs out there. But Koreans love their K-pop. And there's also people of other nationality that love the K-pop. They might not even understand what the fucking words are, but some people, they love like Jabberwockies and like dancing. So when you get people that they might not understand the words, but then they like kind of like this simultaneous like breakdancing type shit, for certain type of bands that, do that, or, people that do hip hop or pop. But interesting. Oh, baby, a little 3D. 3D, 3D. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're on tour with Ginger. You told me about Ginger before. Is Bloodywood good? Oh, Gunther. You had a feeling that he was, gonna be on the show at some point. It's all about building the feud. A couple super kicks there by Jay. I also think, a lot of times people couldn't tell the difference between Jimmy and Jay for the longest time when they, dressed, pretty similar with the gear, like when they had like the surfer look with the yellow and the black, and with those type of wrestling jorts or pants that they would wear. Like back then, I think a lot of people got confused, like who's Jimmy, who's Jay? But now I think who's who. Jay trying to go over the top and out a little bit of a slippage there, but it doesn't matter. Usos are always going to be popular, and regardless if they're face or heel. Yeah, I mean, Theory is a good wrestler. You know what I mean? Theory is a good wrestler, but I think Vince, some people were thinking that he was trying to, make him into the next John Cena, and that, was definitely not going to happen if someone else took over the regime. So, oh, there's Liv. There's Dom. Carlito.
Becomes a new women intercontinental champion. Double champ just because so Dominic, why don't you go check? You're right, David. Dominic, why don't you go check before it's much nicer? Reset here. Finn also is against you breaking into the judgment team. You've always had criticism, so trust yourself. This guy? This way? Same thing.
Oh yeah, it's a matter of time. They're at some point they're going to end up doing, a match one-on-one for who's going to be the leader, and the person that loses gets kicked out. So I don't know. I kind of like Dom being the leader personally. It's the closest thing that you're going to get vibe-wise when it was Priest and Ripley, and without them in the group anymore, Judgment Day is kind of stale. It's no longer the cool faction that it was. I mean, it's a faction, but it doesn't have the same type of aura and vibe where you would get people rooting for that faction, even if you didn't like the wrestlers in the faction. They had a good thing going, but I think Finn is a little bland, though. I feel like on the microphone, he's not really the greatest. And in the ring, he's kind of a middle-sized wrestler, kind of like not necessarily a lightweight, like a middleweight, But again, I feel like with his moveset, some people like the coup de grace. But again, when it was like the demon, then that's cool. That's going to attract a lot of people, But I feel like, I don't know, with just regular Finn, for me personally, I don't know. I just think that some people think he's great. Some people think he's just, okay, but not really for me. I'm glad that he's in WWE, but if you can't spit on the microphone and depending on your moveset, I mean, he's incredibly athletic, and whatnot. But I feel like Dom leading the Judgment Day will make it more relevant in WWE than Finn. Like, no one cares about Finn. The only people that care about Finn are people that love Finn, right? And that's it, or love him from Bullet Club. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. That's really where it comes down to. But if you're looking at outsiders, Finn isn't really one of many people's top 5 or top 10 wrestlers in the company. And I don't think that's being a hater. I just, think there's a lot of others that are more talented. But it's cool to be able to have certain wrestlers like that. Like, I feel like Dolph Ziggler is a guy that, not everyone maybe felt the same way about, but was really good at selling moves, good on the mic, good in the ring. Definitely didn't get treated the right way. And obviously he's still pursuing wrestling, but, for a guy that talented, they should have been able to work something out. That's more of a draw than Finn, in my opinion. So, but again, everyone's got their opinions on, each wrestler in the company. Not every single one is going to be universally liked by every person, out there. So.
That's why I built for String of My Sports. Bring on the good stuff.
Yeah, but if you go down to being a tag, that's like pretty much saying you're at the lowest of the low, Like, again, there's certain people like the Street Profits, like Montez Ford. He could be IC champ or world champ one day because he's good on the mic and good in the ring. But then where does that leave his tag partner? Like, he can't be a solo guy, or I guess if they could, but it's not really going to, be that believable. He's kind of athletic for a big brother, but I don't think that's really working based on his look, that they're not going to push a guy like that. Well, maybe pushing a guy like Obafemi and having that look, but, I feel like if you go to tag, you're at the bottom of the barrel. So, I mean, if you're going to be like trying to be relevant, like in the Intercontinental or, back in the day where we had like European and hardcore belt and there was like other options besides tag. But, instead of going to, being a tag, maybe just doing the demon role full time. And then that could get him being, kind of relevant again. People would pop for that character like they did for Bray Wyatt in The Fiend. There's a certain more, you know, if you have like an alter ego type of thing, even though we know that would only come out once in a while, you know, for a PLE, and then you would get the demon coming out. But I don't know. I think Finn, just the Finn character itself is boring. It doesn't really do anything for me. It's bland. Like, I appreciate that you're in the company, but you don't do it for me. Like in the ring or on the mic, you're kind of just average, you know, even though we know his athleticism is great, you know, and some people, you know, maybe like him on the mic or in the ring, but I mean, the coup de grace is, you know, a unique move. He's the only one that does that. So I'll give him that. But I just feel like his matches are kind of boring, if I'm being honest, unless he does the demon. And then, you know, you get those 80s, 90s vibes where people used to dress up, wear masks and wear painted faces and whatnot. So, but I would, if you took a poll of most of the people in the WWE universe, and I'm not going to be right about everything, but I would assume 90% of fans, you know, if you're not just hardcore fan of him or Bullet Club of him, you know, would say, yeah, Demon is a hell of a lot better than what he's got cooking now. And again, like, you know, him being, you know, like front runner for the Judgment Day takes that fucking faction way down compared to when you had Priest and Ripley running it. You know, it felt like, ooh, this is cool. You know, but with Finn, it's like, this is boring and it makes it kind of lame. And the only thing that's going to make it better is that when Dom and him go one-on-one, loser gets kicked out by Finn, and then Dom runs it, then you're going to make it more popular again. Probably not as popular as it was when Finn, you know, obviously had to take a shadow to, you know, maybe others like Ripley and Damian Priest at the moment. But Dom running it, you know, he could make it like a cooler version than an LWO. Like if he was able to kick out Finn, bring in Penta and Rey Fenix, you know, this is me just, you know, with the ESP, you know, that could be something. No, hating on Carlito, but, you know, and some of the other members, you know, and then obviously you have a member that is on the shelf right now too with the broken ribs and whatnot. But I mean, you want Judgment Day to be cool again, there's a few things you got to do. Chad Gable, love him. Yeah. And again, Priest is like a combination of Scott Hall and Undertaker, but just not as cool as either one of those guys. So again, with him, you know, being in a faction was important. You know, the only one that can stand alone and be awesome is Ripley because she's the best female in the business. You know, she's great on the mic. She's great in the ring. She sells. You know, she is the best. You know, she can stand alone or be in a faction. You know, but sometimes people, they need a tag partner or a faction to be relevant. That's the pecking order. That's how you can tell. I love Gable, man. Gable's great on the microphone. He has gotten so much better in the last couple years. Like, you haven't seen someone take a big leap on the mic like that besides him. Like, you know, you just go back and and Roman Reigns also, you know, going back to where he was when he first came in. And then obviously in that bloodline era, you got to see him actually, you know, cut a promo. And that was good that, you know, back in the day, he couldn't even cut a promo. So I like to see the evolution of people on the mic, men and the women. Yeah, JD McDonough's a tough son of a bitch. And then I'm just kind of excited for some of the injured people to come back, like Asuka. You know, I feel like, you know, the company definitely can survive with some of the people that are injured and whatnot, but it definitely brings another element of an elite wrestler when they come back and get, you know, back into the fold. All right, Lyra.
Memorial Day weekend in Tampa. Coming to the Yuengling Center this May, Saturday night main event. The 24th, Battleground. The 25th, Monday Night Raw. The 26th, with NXT. On the 27th, I'm a ticket contest. That'll be a ticket match. Individual and ticket contest. Tomorrow will be a ticket. Live from Valkyria, watching the fighting champions. You have your opportunity again tonight for the first time ever.
Let's go, Lyra.
Of course, Lyra, the inaugural Intercontinental champion, with a tournament. The champion.
Yeah, Io. Yeah, Io is super fun to watch. High flying, it's like you don't really get too many people that are high flying off the top rope. Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair, and Io are three of the ones that, really do a great job of, high risk. Not every wrestler can do it.
She's got her hands full with Raquel here. Obviously, alongside Liv, the only three-time women's tag team champions. He had shown off the power here tonight against Valkyria. Obviously, have problems with powerful women. What happened to the times of the three of the ring tournament last year against five champions. See if Lyra can correct those issues here tonight. And again, Raquel Rodriguez is.
Where is the show next week? The last leg of the European tour. I read it, but I forgot. Someone needs to look that up. Where are we going next week on Monday? I feel that's the last European date for a time of like noon or 1 p.m. Pacific. But it's been refreshing with the crowds and whatnot. And you can definitely tell the places that have had a show before and the places that haven't, or it's been a really long time, because this crowd is nowhere near being as loud as any of the other stops on the European tour and whatnot. But, that's how it goes. You almost start to take it for granted, and it's you get spoiled by it. Let's go, Lyra. Oh, nice counter.
That's great work by our Intercontinental champion, Lyra Valkyria. Liv Morgan failing as a coach here thus far in this match. As Raquel was sent back to the ring by Valkyria.
And the talent in the female division has never been at this level before, especially with all the different companies. Oh, big kick. It's like you actually get, the female wrestling part, obviously, you can have the look and be pretty, but if you can actually wrestle like how the men wrestle, and you're starting to see a lot of the females can actually like wrestle like top tier. And that's much better than having just a couple of them being that way back in the day. Now it's like the competition is at its very highest. That makes good TV.
Sister's 40th birthday party as a dress code. I got nothing. She said, you have to look nice. Just go to Men's Warehouse. They'll decide everything for you. What? Sister's birthday. She's an adult. Please help me. Follow me. I knew it. I'm hot. Did I need to flex the hot on my sister's birthday? Yes.
Nice outfit, little brother.
Oh, this whole thing.
It's in London.
We don't have to. 40.
London and it's noon time, right? 3:00 for you in New York, and then noon here for me in Oregon. I did see the Sheamus. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like, when you love something and then all of a sudden the product starts getting good, like it did when I was a kid. Like now I'm just fucking interested in like everything that's going on. It's been a long time, coming for me to be able to get to a point where it's like, man, I really want to watch Raw. And I want to watch the whole thing. I want to watch SmackDown. I want to watch NXT. Like I want to be able to follow up on some, extra news and see what other new photos are dropping out of the wrestlers, and just keeping up with everything. And obviously PLEs are a given. It's crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, that's just stuff that they talk about on the internet. Cody has a lisp that everyone knows, but Cody is seasoned enough to go toe-to-toe with Cena on the mic. Cena is like The Rock. They're OGs. They've been in movies, so they obviously were very, very good before that. They don't necessarily need any like speech training. These guys are incredible and obviously very creative off the top, where if you're trying to shit talk and be creative off the top, like, it really does take a special individual to be good on the microphone. Not everyone is good. And, to be able to have that creativity, to be able to own someone and cook them on the mic. But I feel like that was kind of a shot at Cody, thinking like, oh, Cena is so good on the mic, that like no one can step up. Or, it was kind of like the whole MJF thing, back when he was cooking everyone when he had the belt. And, and again, MJF is great on the mic, but to act like nobody else could go toe-to-toe, that's when you're kind of pushing a narrative, right? And it's obviously just trying to make Cena more popular and more relevant, for this farewell tour. Because just imagine if he would have stayed face and they didn't really do anything. It would just kind of come and gone, and then Cena's out of WWE, or we see him once a year do a match like The Undertaker or something for a few years. Because I don't know if this will be actually, maybe gone for wrestling part-time or full-time, but sometimes you can still do like one match a year, WrestleMania, but that's up to John and, the company if they want to do that. But also we don't want to have the thing where we like keep seeing fucking Goldberg, trying to wrestle. Nobody wants to see Goldberg but Goldberg. Hell, even if his sons don't want to see him, like, I get it. Oh, big leg drop by Lyra. That was very smooth right there. 1, 2, 2. But nobody wants to see Goldberg. I mean, am I right? I mean, this doesn't matter if you're like his biggest fan. What he did at WCW was awesome. Being the face of WCW was Sting before he went to NWO, Black and White and Wolfpack. Too sweet, right? Oh, nice clothesline by Raquel. But I feel that, John Cena's, good on the mic, but Cody is very intelligent. And, he can go, bar for bar, sentence for sentence, word for word with Cena, Now, is there a time where with his lisp and, depending on what Cena says, could he cook him in a segment for a few lines? Sure. He could cook anybody. But, but Cena also could get cooked, as well. Rock, you could throw in quite a few names. It's all about being able to, be authentic, even if you're playing a role of a face or a heel. And just some are better than others. Yeah, you know what? And I'll be honest, a lot of stuff that comes out with WWE or wrestling, I'm not going to watch. Live with the leg. But I am excited for Stephanie's place. I think like the people that she has on there are perfect. Those are the people that we would want to see an interaction with. And, a lot of the people, deeply, understand and respect Stephanie, that she's not, her dad, and so, and I think that is cool. You know what I mean? Like the name itself is tarnished to a certain degree, but no one has anything really bad to say about Stephanie. Oh. Liv coming in. Oh, beat down on Lyra. Bailey. Oh, stunner on the rope. Bailey. There you go. That could have been bad. Now the crowd is starting to wake up a little bit. you know what? That's a good question. I usually follow a lot of different things, but I have not heard, a timeline exact. I mean, they do approximate if you pay attention and whatnot, but sometimes it's just they're throwing that out there. But no, I have not heard. There's a few that I'm really looking forward to coming back. So.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna stream it. It's gonna be streamed live on YouTube, TikTok Live, and X. And if you're not in the arena, you won't be up to $1 million in giveaway.
Tell him, Pat.
You need to watch. Every time we want to thank everybody. Can't wait for it. So listen, Pat arrived in Glasgow about 8 o'clock this morning.
And when are we going to get Drew McIntyre, damn it? And I'm definitely looking forward to Braun Breaker and Penta. It'll be interesting if we get like a Rey Fenix run in. And, there is rumors that he'll be on SmackDown, which would make sense to separate, the two of them and then eventually bring them together to recreate the Lucha Bros that you had in AEW, which was amazing. They were really the only tag team that could hang, with Nick and Matt Jackson. So, if you think about what tag teams are, the modern day Hardys is that, that's what you get with them. And, AEW doesn't have too many things that are on the level of WWE, but they have some. The Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, just to name a few. They got a few. Rock that kilt, Pat. Pat's authentic, and that's why, shit works when he does stuff. You know what I mean? Sometimes people think, he's just, crazy, but it's like a controlled, energy that you have, and you can just get amped up for things, and be authentic about it. Always the worst is where you see people trying to be fake, on camera, for things, for clicks, or you see someone on TV and they're trying to be someone that they're not. It's like the worst thing to watch. It's like terrible. You got to go mute or find alternate audio. But I'm glad Pat is able to experience a little bit of this European tour. 2 weeks ago, EO. A little triple threat. The best woman wrestler in the business. And it's crazy too, because it used to be such like a model, divas, where you've seen some of the most incredibly beautiful women going with, the Tori Wilson and the Trish Stratus and the Stacy Keibler and the Lita. I mean, it goes on and on and on if you grew up in that era. And then now you definitely see so much diversity, where it's, not everyone has, got to have like kind of a model look. You can be a different race, different type of shape, different type of style of wrestling. And it's cool to be able to see. I never really thought we would get to a point where we would have like goth emo, a female is the best. You got an Asian wrestler getting the love like Asuka. Obviously Bianca is holding it down for the ladies there as well. It's a great time to be able to invest in WWE, especially the talent that they have. It's must-see TV. Point blank, simple.
If you think I'm gonna let you put your hands on me again and I do nothing about it, then you not know.
Yeah. Plus one-on-one, if you think about it, Io versus Bianca, it doesn't really make you want to watch the match. Io versus Ripley, same thing. Maybe a little bit more intrigued with those two, but I feel like then you make it a triple threat. There's double team moves, there could be some cool spots, and then you get the energy and juice you need for the match. Not everyone is going to be able to hold down a one-on-one, and that's not a shot at Io whatsoever. But again, her being the new person, knowing that they're not going to have the belt on her for a year or 2 years, it's just like they're giving her her dues and rewarding her and whatnot. But triple threat, will make everything, perfectly lined up for what you want to watch at a PLE or something as big as a WrestleMania.
Confused? Maybe you just need a Snickers pecan. The speed and power of Cricket 5G. Play me.
All right, I got to go check up on my pup. Oh, baby. Braun Breaker, Liv Morgan, Penta. Miedo.
Fast and powerful nationwide 5G on all planes. Oh. How do we stream all of these games?
Well, we engineered a fast, reliable Xfinity internet.
So you never miss a moment while streaming live sports. Isn't that the best part about working here?
No, it's the uniform. Actually, Mr. Jalen, I do feel a little self-conscious.
Yeah, I feel ridiculous. I mostly feel cold.
Meeting over.
It's fine. Try to make y'all look fresh. You don't get it.
Know what's fresh? A super fast connection to the court with low lag. That's Wi-Fi built for streaming live sports. Bring on the good stuff.
Welcome to the official re-animation opening ceremony 2024. Sure.
Just 1 year, I had over $900 in banking fees, and I had enough. I realized just how much money I could save. That's when I found Chime, and I signed up immediately. There's no overdraft fees, no monthly fees, and over 60,000 fee-free ATMs. Just by banking with Chime, I'm saving hundreds of dollars a year, and I'm using that extra money for my daughter's future. For a normal guy like me, I've given myself a small raise. Join me at chime.com. Anything unusual happen? Other than my boss time? Other than that, yes.
That's Cordelia Cop, the best detective in the world.
Where's the body? Oh, I see feet. Mr. President, there may be a murderer out there. Or in here. Yay! A murder mystery.
All right. Oh, Triple H, August 98, the peak of wrestling, 95 to 99 was by far the best in WWF, WCW, and ECW. You're never going to be able to replicate that era ever. But they're getting close to what they're doing right now, like the evolution. You're starting to see that's the closest that we've been to this era is right now. It's taken a while. You got to think 25 years to get it back to where it was, even longer than that.
elevate more of the superstars. We knew we were going to be something special in WWE. They just were. It was a big moment. Triple H became the Continental Champion. It was a great match and a great platform.
Triple H. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Tara Rising. Man, that DX era, that was something. Earthquake and Typhoon, shout out. Luger. Michelle McCool, Undertaker's wifey. Jimmy and Jay.
What's up with it? For the last couple of weeks, man, I can see you've been all up in your head. I don't understand, bro. Last week, you been in that 15 years, so you became a damn joke of me, bro. What's with you? Tonight, the kill shot was right. You up here slipping, messing up out there. You keep on continuing this, you will not win WrestleMania. They remind me every week. I ain't beat nothing. I'm 3-0 versus nothing. You want to know the truth is? What? Man, I don't know if I can beat you. You can't. Hold up. You can't beat him. Not this, Jay. No. The Jay I do. The right thing. The one that became. The Jay you saw. The one that won the one trouble. That's the whole thing. You right. No! Me, you, next week. Well, sure. As long as I don't dribble the ball like the Oh!
Ooh, damn. Damn, that's what I need right there. Holy moly. That was one of the hardest open hands that you have heard on TV in years. Dude, WWE is cooking, especially when the wrestlers are, going to allow maybe a little bit more, I love it. I love it. Let's go. And when are we going to get Drew McIntyre, damn it? Let's go, baby. And you add Ripley to the list.
To pick a pen up off of the match and to scribble her signature on this contract as if it makes anything official. I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to make this perfectly crystal clear, Rhea Ripley is not in the match. You can move you up. The match is Io Sky defending against Bianca Belair. Furthermore, the signature that Rhea put on this contract, it means nothing. And it means nothing because Miss Ripley already knows that she has a rematch. A rematch, by the way, I've been trying to nail her down for weeks. And in the meantime, Bianca Belair wins the Elimination Chamber and earned the right to call herself the #1 contender. So that's the issue. Bianca earned her opportunity, and Rhea is owed one, but she only wants it on her time. Well, I'm not doing it that way. Therefore,
we want triple threat. I like EO's theme. It's a very NJPW Japanese vibe. Very unique. No one else in the business has got something like that. And then hopefully when Asuka comes back, she'll be able to have a taste of gold. I feel like they haven't given her enough love, even if they have to do it at the end of her career. She's still in her prime, we assume. So
It doesn't matter who it is. I will take you of all of them because we want
Just hear me out for a second. Somebody's gonna hit me.
oh, triple threat. Triple threat.
No, you were right. I earned that number one contender spot. And
I like Bianca's ring gear. Very Wonder Woman, Golden Eye, not Austin Powers, little frill action.
she did not earn it. She does not.
Look, I understand that. I agree, but if you guys had all just
The match won't be good if Ripley's not in it. It needs to have her in it. Because it makes you want to watch the match. But if it's just those two, I mean, is that really going to be the best match? It probably would end up having a chance to be one of the lower matches. But if you make a triple threat, you might be able to, raise it a little bit higher on the number at the end of the match. Facts.
I have to go through to get my title back. All I want is my rematch.
Oh, now you want your rematch. We've been talking about it for weeks.
Are you want a rematch? Well, Rhea, you already waited 3 weeks, so you can just wait 3 more, and then you can get your rematch after WrestleMania with me. With me. I said what I said. Yeah, you can make your rematch. I said what I said. No.
Yes, I know. Now, glad you're on here because I was going to say I have a solution. If you give me a second, next week you get your rematch that you wanted. And the winner of that rematch faces Bianca at WrestleMania. Ladies, thank you. Have a very nice Monday. Here's putting his foot down and get the video next week for the women's world title of the Undisputed Lion. Yes, everybody cares. Look at the Scott now. And that goes for the EMC trying to be disrespecting all this, but Bianca Belair as well, delivering a right hand. I believe it's but really a big move. And Io Sky, the women's world champ. And Bianca that fly out goes Rhea.
The crowd. It's crazy, like when you have a good crowd, how much better the event is. Especially when you're watching it on TV and not being there. There we go. Nice Hurricane Rana. Nice sell by Ripley there, too. She got long legs for her to be able to have someone do a Hurricane Rana and be able to flip it, and you're a taller wrestler. It's a lot harder to do if you watch wrestling. Bianca, she's like, I'm the Lex Luger. WrestleMania card is looking pretty good too. All right, there's my guy Penta. Let's go.
I know you're good, but it could be better. You know, I'm willing to offer you a spot in the Judgment Day. You could be Intercontinental Champion tonight. Just think about it. Piénsalo un poquito.
Yeah, Penta could always be like, fuck off. I'm going to do it on my own. But having the Lucha Bros in Judgment Day could be the thing that make them relevant again. If you end up getting Penta and then Rey Fenix eventually, and then you can build the Judgment Day a little bit better, get a little bit more diversity, and getting the pieces that need to be put there to, make them relevant again. But it will be interesting to see how it all kind of plays out. Braun Breaker, Penta.
It's time to begin the hunt. To share the excitement and break your tails off.
Endless ways to ease the M&M. Plus, we know off is not an option. Off means you're late for work or miss a call. Life's busy. You're busy. You need to be on the road, on a call, or just ready to play. Plus has battery.
Yeah. Well, for the longest time, Asian wrestlers weren't really getting a real big push in like modern day unless you wrestled in Japan, like an NJPW or, in a Japanese, federation and whatnot. But, every once in a while, you'll get like a Tajiri, you'll end up getting an Asuka or an Io Sky. And, for the most part, they'll get some little bit of a push, or Shinsuke Nakamura, but sometimes they might have to wait their turn, so to speak, and whatnot. But at least if they get recognized before their career is over, so at least they can know what gold, is about at least once. So, because you got to think when you're wrestling, of course you would love to be able to, have a belt and have it for a long time. But when you're a person that normally wouldn't even get one, and then even if you only get it for a day, a couple weeks, a month, I mean, you're going to remember that for the rest of your life, because you might not get another chance, or it may be a while before you get another chance. So.
Until now, guys, introducing Domino's first ever stuffed crust pizza. We didn't just stuff our crust with cheese. We use our delicious pan pizza dough and sprinkle garlic seasoning and Parmesan on top. It's Domino's first.
I mean, we're getting to a point where you could also, bring back or create a new female belt at some point. The talent is starting to stack up. So. Yeah, gold in any company is a huge honor. There's so many wrestlers that never even get to taste gold once, just because, either the company doesn't believe in them, or they do believe in them and they just want to give it to someone else that they feel is more deserving, that's going to make them more money in the company, for popularity or whatnot. Like, just because you got gold doesn't mean you're like the best wrestler in the company. It's just who they want to put the, the eyes on for that time period. But it's cool to be able to see the gold distributed, to more people instead of just having someone like Roman have it for like 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Like imagine how many other people could have had a moment, in that time period, even if it was only for a month. We could have seen a few other people kind of take a step, but I understand why they did it, because they're trying to make Roman like the modern day Hulk Hogan. So, when you give someone that type of opportunity, you're pretty much saying, hey, Hulk Hogan, that was then, but now we have to have something to compare to that. And the only way we can do that is if we keep the belt on him for, an extended period of time. That's ridiculous. And that's what they did. Best part of the bloodline wasn't even Roman or Jimmy and Jay or Paul Heyman. It was Sami Zayn. But it was cool to be able to see it. The War Raiders. War Raiders. Brothers from blood. This is a cool little package here. They normally don't give tag wrestlers like a little montage like this. That's fucking cool, man. That was incredibly awesome. Like, why can't I see more of that? That was insane. That War Raiders segment right there was fucking awesome. Like, give me more of that fucking weekly shit. The New Day. Too bad for Big E and his injury. That really killed the New Day train going, It's like so popular and, so relevant for so long. But then when you have the one that's the most talented, get the neck injury, it's not the same with just 2 out of the 3. But it's about time that they went heel, but it's not going to give, the face vibes. Yeah, Pierce is really awesome on the mic, for a guy. And I don't know if you did he wrestle back in the day? Is Adam Pierce like a former jobber or another wrestler that wrestled? I don't think every fan of WWE has like gone on Google or did like okay, who is this? Was this a former wrestler? Is this just some guy that they hired? But again, for a guy that just kind of gives the news, as like kind of like one of the manager guys of the company, very well spoken. And I feel like authentic, and it comes off, when it's authentic and real, it just more genuine, and then it comes off good, Nice camera angle here with the drone shot. Fucking love this, dude. Yeah, Shinsuke doesn't really need a belt right now. They should have given him the belt much, back in the day when he was at his peak. That's when they should have gave it to him, and not until the point where he's not really relevant anymore. Chad Gable. I love fucking Lucha Libre, man. I love that style. Like, Japanese strong style where they kick really hard and punch really hard is really dope too. But to be able to see the fast-paced, and the counters and the Hurricane Ranas, I like fast-paced wrestling. I don't like the, punch, kick, leg drop, body slam, pin and DDT. It's over. Like, I want to be able to be entertained. And, with the wrestling that you get now, Lucha Libre is by far the most entertaining, I feel. Here, the crowd is starting to wake up. Chad Gable, great on the mic, great in the ring. I mean, how many wrestlers would be able to go from, doing regular strong style American wrestling and then being able to learn a set and be comfortable of doing Lucha Libre moves? I mean, we're talking about a very rare couple guys in the company that could do something like that. Like, there's not just anybody that can wrestle lucha libre after wrestling a whole certain style your whole career. It's not like you can just pick it up like riding a bike. Some guys are going to be better at it than others, like Gable, but the Great White Hype, I love it. Yeah, I like it when you end up, sending. Yeah, because I would say for his size and stuff, it would seem like, there was some championships, and yeah, a nice steady accomplishments for him. Because I was gonna say, for a wrestler, some are going to be good on the mic, others, but it depends on, what your role is and what you're talking about. But yeah, he cooks, man. Oh shit! Oh my god! Holy fuck! Whoa, Gable! Oh my god! Look at this! Look at this replay! Get the fuck out of here! Out to the outside? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Let's go. That was awesome. Yeah, the NWA stuff. I mean, I don't watch that, so I kind of had a feeling that he was a wrestler and maybe he either was a jobber and we didn't know it in WWE, or he was a really good wrestler somewhere else and I just never watched, and it was the other. And he actually has more accomplishments on Gold than I thought that he would have. I thought he might have some, but not that much. And yeah, his mic skills are great. It's it's just like when you watch sports, and you have commentators calling your favorite thing. If you get a bad one or someone that's on a national broadcast calling your team, they don't even pronunciate your team names correctly. They don't know anything. It's not a good look. Yeah, but you have to think everything is calculated, right? So Roman is involved, right? Because you have CM Punk, you got Seth Rollins, and you got Roman Reigns, right? And then you got Paul Heyman, Tribal Chief, right? So at some point or another in the triple threat, right, Paul Heyman will turn his back on Roman Reigns and then will be with CM Punk as his manager moving forward after Mania. And we'll see if that is the angle that they go. So if it is, then boom, there it is. But I could definitely see, because again, with Paul Heyman, you can align yourself. He's been with CM Punk. He's been with, Brock Lesnar, even though he's not a part of the company on a weekly basis. Hopefully we'll see him at some point, but who knows, right? And then obviously the latest with Roman Reigns. But to have them together, right, you could end up having this main event one of the nights. And then if you end up getting the kind of heel turn by Heyman turning his back on Roman and then CM Punk wins. Now, again, not everyone loves CM Punk. Most people, appreciate Seth and Roman more, and there's more of a fan base there, I think. Even though CM's got a lot of people that chant his name, but how many of those people that chant his name really genuine like his style of wrestling or his promos better than the other two? Some, and that's definitely, all three can, spit on the mic now. It just depends on personal preference. But I think that is a underlying storyline that, I think that would be a big surprise for a lot of people if you haven't heard that. Like if you didn't hear that, and then all of a sudden we watch Mania and that's what happens, and Heyman ends up, hitting Roman, CM Punk ends up getting the pin, and then he aligns himself with CM Punk. I mean, CM doesn't really need a manager, but it could give you that kind of like, ooh, shit, like, keep you on your heels type of shit where it might be not a major move, but even a minor move that you're like, ooh, you're wanting to see where the storyline goes. So I think that's why, in my opinion, Roman is involved. I feel and I'm not going to be right on every, prediction or everything that comes into my brain, but I think of something and I'll tell you. Yeah, but also too, CM Punk is old. He didn't wrestle for 10 years. So imagine being at your peak, like in your 20s, and then you're going into your late 20s or 30s, and then you're gone for 10 years and people are chanting your name. CM Punk is still great on the mic, but in the ring, he's old. He shouldn't really, once you get guys that are in their 40s or 50s, you can't expect them to wrestle like in their 20s or 30s, when he first came in. Right? And regardless if you like Punk or not, he's doing the best that he can at his age. It's really more of the popularity of who he is and how good he is on the mic. That's more of a reason why he's in that spot, everyone's going to have a personal preference. Like, for example, right, who would you rather watch between John Cena at the end of his career, right, or CM Punk? And again, even though Cena, is doing this heel storyline, but I feel like with him wrestling, it's not really, the greatest anymore. And even back when he was in his prime, it really wasn't for everyone. Not, I personally wasn't really the hugest fan of the style, but what a chop by Dragon Lee. What a suplex. Love German. Super kick. Super kick, suplexes, high risk, Hurricane Ranas. What the fuck is not to love about Lucha Libre? Like, you don't even have to be the most popular name like a Rey Mysterio to be like relevant and, but they don't get appreciated enough. I feel like Lucha Libres definitely don't get the gold or the love as much as they should. Maybe that'll change now with Penta. Maybe he'll be the face of the luchas that has the gold. That'll be good, man. Two. Yeah, super excited for Rey Fenix. If you ended up watching AEW, watch anything Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks, and you'll like literally be like, what am I watching? Like, it'll be what you see here will be a minor version of what you saw there. That was some of the best tag wrestling in the last 25 years. The mask comes off. Wow. And obviously anyone that knows Lucha Libre, a mask coming off is that's a tradition thing, Wow. Whether it be planned or not planned, wild. Like he did it in a way where you can't really, was that on purpose or did it just kind of come off? All right, Gable. Yeah, that might have just been like a thing that happened on accident and whatnot. Can't continue the match after that. The next question is does Chad Gable have to learn Spanish to do a Spanish promo? Because, obviously you can't talk like Chad Gable if you got the Lucha mask on, right?
Maybe you start to find some grit in yourself because nobody cares if you want to try to be the best. I'm going to give it my all. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to see Barbie. Nobody's interested.
Yeah, it's some of the best wrestling. If you ended up liking the Hardys or, Matt and Jeff Hardy and going through the Dudleys, with Bubba Ray and Devon, Edge and Christian, every once in a while you'll end up getting something kind of special. But tag teams that are elite, they're pretty rare nowadays. There's not too many of them. But hopefully I don't assume that they'll do the same thing for Ray Phoenix as they do for Penta with the pyro and all that. Like, Penta's over, and a lot of people didn't even know who he was unless you watch AEW or you read something that he was coming, to the new company. No, OTC, YTC. But let's see if my prediction is correct, right? If Paul Heyman turns on Roman and goes with CM Punk and aligns with him, because that could be the little twist that people won't expect. They're not even thinking that. But it's not like CM Punk needs someone talking for him. He can cut a promo just fine, but just that surprise factor, if it were to happen, then, we'll see what goes into motion for Roman moving forward and CM Punk moving forward. It would be a new plot shift. I wish Dean Ambrose, John Moxley was still in WWE. I miss the Shield. That was an awesome faction. And then they ended up turning out to be the most successful trio ever, even over Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, which was number one. That's insane to say. Like, they had more success as a trio with the gold than those three. And those three are like three of the best ever. I know Roman needs someone better than Gunther. Gunther's boring to watch. If we were going to go Roman Reigns against an opponent and you want it to be exciting, it's got to be like Roman and Randy. You go Roman and Randy Orton, then people will get interested, because what happens? Who wins? What finishers are done? RKO's here, RKO's there, Superman punches, spears, You got to look at style of wrestling. Sometimes, guys can be similar, but similar would be more like if Gunther wrestled like Sheamus or, like a Drew McIntyre or that type of, person. But, sometimes certain guys like that, it gets, guys that can maybe punch or hit hard, but it's not going to deliver like ratings. Like, no one cares for Gunther, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, he can't talk on the mic. You can put the gold on him, but again, wrestling moves. I mean, he wrestles kind of like a Sheamus, but he doesn't have a personality like a Sheamus. It's just kind of a guy. I feel that, if you want to give the guy gold, fine, but to give a guy that's generic gold, then that might be the only generic gold guy belt that you get for a while, and then they're going to go to more, interesting personalities. You just watch a replay. He did grab it on purpose. Okay. Because, it happened so quickly, and I'm like looking back and forth. I couldn't tell. All right, here we go. CM Punk. But I guarantee that angle that I'm thinking that Paul Heyman turns on Roman, and I don't know if that's going to lead to CM Punk winning and he aligns himself with him, but, it could happen. Great theme music. It's like whether you like them or not, like when you don't get too many of those. And some people can have ones that like you chant to it, like Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, where you're singing along, or Sami Zayn. But when someone has an iconic song, though, man, it really hits different. This, Cody Rhodes, those are the two of the best right now. You're probably never going to see another wrestler's name chanted for 10 years when they, get fired from the business or walk away. Whether you love him or you hate him, he's good for the business. And this run with WWE has been better than what he had in AEW, but obviously you need a starting point, so. But even though like CM Punk and John Cena really aren't the style of wrestling that I enjoy, if we just take storyline out of it, like I would rather watch CM Punk wrestle than Cena. Like some people like that style of wrestling, but for me, it's a little, too robotic. for me. Like, is there some moves that he does that are relatively cool? There's a couple, but I feel like it's a little too slow for me. And now he's aging and he's older, so it's even slower. So it's like, it's not as bad as watching Bill Goldberg wrestle, but there's certain people that, and again, the same thing goes for The Rock, that you're not the same wrestler that we used to watch when we were kids and whatnot, but hard to be worse than Goldberg, though. Edge has a good one. Not as big as, CM Punk's right now or with Cody Rhodes. I think those are the two biggest right now. But yeah, that is one that people love, and people will. It's cool to be able to see people singing it in AEW. It didn't really like towards the end of the run, unless he came back after being gone for a long time, you got a big pop. But I don't really feel the WWE universe really treated that song, to the way it could have been. But there's so much competition with different wrestlers and themes, it has to be a banger, And to me, the CM Punk, obviously banger, Cody Rhodes, banger. And I loved Judas with Jericho. That was one of my, for you to go out of your way to want to sing a song, all the way fucking through word for word, you're not really getting that as much. And they do that now with a little bit with Randy Orton and whatnot with the European crowds. But it's cool to be able to see what songs the crowds are universally willing to kind of go out of their way for. Who are they vibing with? Yeah, but Punk definitely, there definitely is going to be some, I feel, natural beef. Not everyone is going to like everyone in the back, for sure. I don't know. I feel like I've been watching wrestling since 1985. So it's I feel I gotta, I'm not going to be right about everything. I'm just going to give my kind of 2 cents, and I'll give you some predictions here and there and whatnot. But it definitely the evolution of wrestling and the kind of creativity and storyline and things definitely have advanced in a great way. Stephanie's Place, watch that shit. I normally wouldn't say there's so many things that you're gonna have some good combos. Genetic, good, genuine combo.
Yeah, 100%. I ruined I think everything came together so fast. I was still unsure of a lot of stuff. There definitely is that part of a performer's brain. There was that, they didn't remember me. Are they going to care? I think me and her husband are way more similar than maybe even today we were.
Yeah. If CM Punk was nervous that they wouldn't, give him the same reaction that he got back when he was wrestling, you have to be, some people will just be they'll do it in being nice and the welcome back chants or you deserve it stuff, but it may not be fully believable. But we've never seen a wrestler leave the business and have their name chanted in random shows, when they weren't even in those federations. That's insanity. You're talking of a very rare breed that would have fans do that. Good on the microphone. Look at that. Look at that. CM Punk chants. They love him there. And that's got to make you feel fucking great. You're not going to be loved by everyone. But I like his promos, and I like, who he is. If I had to listen between him or watch him or Cena. Yeah, he's not the same, but.
Quality time with my friends in Glasgow. I am not in a good mood. I'm a little pissed off. Hard to be mad when you come out here to an ovation like that.
Oh, yeah. I love energy, passion and energy in anything. It's cool to be able to see people react for once.
to WrestleMania. Which, by the way, apparently I have a match. Did you guys see that nice graphic? Beautiful. But what I want, I'm not kidding. See, what I wanted to do was win the Royal Rumble. I did. Then it became what I needed to do was win the Olympic.
It would be cool to see AJ Lee come back. You know, I don't know what kind of wrestling shape she is in. I know she like writes books and whatnot, but I guarantee she could cut a promo, and she might not be on the top tier level, but she probably wouldn't be on the lower end either. But it really depends on if that would be something that she would want to come back for. The crowd would cheer for her for sure, though.
Which doesn't get me to what I want. For two people, it's clearly personal. For me, oh baby, it's just business. And it's become simple fact. The two men who want to stand in my way and stop me from getting what I want, gotta go. Seth Rollins takes it personal because
Yeah, that would be cool. And I think that's another reason why people like CM Punk a little bit more, you know, and whatnot, is like, you know, that he's with AJ Lee. AJ Lee is like very grounded, like, you know, type of person, and, you know, genuine and real. And, you know, I think we haven't seen a wrestler be loved or hated more than Punk in the last 25 years. But I like the version that we are getting now here at the end of his career. Better here than AEW. So, yeah, I'm ready for Becky to come back.
So while it's personal for them, it's business for me, and it's going to be business for me this Friday in London at SmackDown, because apparently we're going to have ourselves an old.
Yeah, I want Becky to come back, and I want Asuka to come back for the females.
We're doing it because you wanted to hear, right? So did I, and that's why I'm here.
You know what's really funny? Like Hulk Hogan, like used to be my favorite, right? Like back when I was a kid. Hulkamaniacs, eat your vitamins, say your prayers. I have the action figures, right? And then NWO Hollywood Hogan is still to this day is one of my favorite things. Like I still wear the gear. I got the Wolfpack jacket on right now. I got the black and white satin jacket. I got the cutoff shirts. You know, I love Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and Hollywood Hogan, but the Hulk Hogan now, you know, post wrestling, you know, being racist, of course, people hate him now. They're not going to buy his Great American beer as much as they were if he wasn't racist. You know, when you're racist and you don't apologize for being racist, then people are, you know, gonna not be about you anymore. You know, and it, you know, and I think some people think, oh, it's because he aligned himself with Trump and he, you know, was campaigning for him and being crazy on TV. That's not the reason people. You know, again, it's the racist part. That's the part that is bothersome. People can vote and support whoever they want, regardless if you love or hate that, you know, particular individual. You know, you see it all the time with politics and, you know, people that are out on the top. Some people are like, some are not. No position is going to be forever. We'll see where things go. CM Punk. But I mean, I don't feel the same way about Hulk Hogan as I did when I was a kid. I mean, I got the fucking right next to me. I have a WCW, not WWF, WCW 2-pack figure, Hollywood Hogan and Macho Man, NWO. Hogan's got the belt. Like most people have never even seen a WCW figure because everyone collected in the 80s and 90s only WWF, right? I got some Macho Mans. I got some Hogans. I got the Nashes. I got the Halls. When you're NWO, you're NWO for life, brother. For life, brother. Ooh, yeah. They told me. I haven't stopped listening. I still rock the gear. I will until I die. You know, some people are DX people. Some people are NWO, but I mean, when they say NWO, it's for life. They're like, yeah, it is.
What you did to me in Madison Square Garden is unforgivable. I'm in London on March 31st, Monday Night Raw. I want to see you face to face. Bring your A game. Bring your soccer mom haircut. I'll see your bitch ass there.
He said, bitch ass. Why do they have to bleep up the fuck early when they did the fuck you Cena chant? If it's on Netflix, what are we doing? Yeah, kids are going to have access to it. Everyone's going to have access to it, but it's not like on local TV or even on basic cable. Like I thought we were, it's one thing if the wrestlers say it, but if the crowd is saying it, let the audio go through. It's not like the fucking wrestlers are saying it. You have no control over the crowd. Crowd is willing to do whatever chant they feel that is right at the time, And if they want to drop fuck you, Cena, I want to be able to hear that. It's on Netflix, damn it. Yeah. I mean, the only thing, is they're doing athletic wrestler versus athletic wrestler. So storyline, obviously AJ is like Logan Paul. No one cares. But again, Logan can talk on the microphone. And obviously is super athletic and can have matches. So again, if you got a guy like AJ Styles where, he's awesome, but you don't really have a spot for him in the upper card, on the storyline, then you got to pair him up with someone that you think that actually can put out a banger, at Mania. And that's the reasoning of the pairing. So everything is calculated in WWE. If you look at, who it is, it may not be something that we're invested in, but that's the reasoning why sometimes you get those, because if you get like a big wrestler versus a small wrestler, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And here we got Braun Breaker, Kathy Kelly.
As far as tonight, I'm going to beat Penta in the center of that ring and retain the championship. What reason? It's because the dogs are.
Oh, 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 oh. I like Braun. I like Penta. And you got to think, like, to make the Goldberg moveset cool, you got to be pretty cool yourself, and you got to be able to have a story. And obviously being related to Rick Steiner and Scott Steiner will do it. Because, again, most guys that are going to have, like, the Roman Reigns or the Goldberg kind of moveset, it's not the greatest, moveset. Spear is kind of overrated. It's not the greatest. I guess he's got the Superman punch, so you get something a little different. You get the ooh, you get the ah, right? You get a little bit of that. But for Braun, he needs to learn how to be better and better on the microphone. And obviously having Rick and Scott, as access, you're already in another genetic caliber. And we'll see how far he goes. I'm interested to see where this goes. See if we get Judgment Day running out with Dom, helping Penta out. Rey Fenix will probably be on SmackDown, but it would be really awesome if he showed up.
This warehouse, so I'll have the best one. Use the good plunger, the big one.
So I think we're going to be doing Blazers and Cavs tomorrow, because that's really the only thing that's, that's worthy. And then Wednesday, maybe a day off. And then Thursday, we're starting off the season for the MLB, and we'll be doing Athletics and Mariners on Thursday at 7, Athletics and Mariners at 6:30 on Friday, and then obviously going into the weekend as well. But I'll try to squeeze in a NASCAR Cup race and more Monday Night Raws, definitely. Yeah, and a lot of them end up having that background. A lot of the football players do the spear type of moves, but The Rock, Goldberg, Roman Reigns, they all played football. I mean, there's quite a few of them that actually have played, some type of football.
What's up, man? We're still trying to get that new place, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like I kind of feel like Seth and Punk deserve better, but again, if you have to do it because of the pairing of who you're with, then it makes it, okay. We want to be able to see those guys have better matches, but if you're going to do that, pairing instead of just one-on-one and with Becky and AJ Lee, it could work. But after you've been gone out of the business for so long, it may not be something that you want to actually do anymore. Let's go, baby. Braun Breaker. Live. Penta. Cielo. Miedo. No fear. I see you, Penta. It's like one of the first times that WWE actually, brought someone in from AEW and made them shine and then go above and beyond. That's a rare thing. You don't really see that often. Yeet.
Tonight only. Save 25% off site-wide.
Let's go. The flames are dope. The pyro is dope. Music is good. And then the outfits. I mean, it's like La Parka, but it's a 2025 La Parka, like a cooler version of La Parka, the Lucha Libres and WCW on Nitro and Thunder. It gives me WCW vibes. And, we should have more like this. But again, that's showing you when you end up having a 10 out of 10 mask, 10 out of 10, ring gear with the pants and the boots and everything just lines up. Most Lucha Libres, they'll have some fancy stuff, but Penta's look is by far the best in this generation. Mask, the face paint, the gear, the boots. I mean, we're talking like top notch. Top tier. I miss La Parka, man. I miss WCW, ECW. I could definitely go back and just sit down and watch old school episodes of those for hours on end. It's cool. It's got kind of like a Mortal Kombat, reptilian bones, kind of pattern, skeleton structure, reptilian pattern. It's all about the colors and the way it pops. Yeah, fantastic. Here we got Braun Breaker coming out. Braun Breaker would have made an amazing member in the NWO. Okay, you can just visualize him with Rick and Scott, right? And Buff Bagwell, right? Scott Norton, Horace Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and there he is, Braun Breaker. Except he wouldn't have to be Braun Breaker. Braun Steiner. Oh, 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 oh. It's so entertaining, man, to watch that old school stuff. Like I can get excited watching old school stuff that has Glacier or Ernest the Cat Miller, just like the rando guys that were on Nitro, just having those memories. And then I can watch Lance Storm or Just Incredible, the Sandman. Masato Tanaka, Mike Awesome. I miss that shit. Awesome Bomb. But a lot of those guys are passed away, like Mike Awesome. Hayabusa, fantastic. It was kind of like the Japanese version of Sabu. Or Sabu was the, Asian version. He was trying to pull that off. Love the gear for Penta. So fire. So aesthetically pleasing. It's the best gear on TV. Penta would have made an amazing NWO member as well. Both of these guys in the new world order. For life, brother. And Braun's got the look, and he's got the family, history and whatnot, right? But I don't think a lot of people are like fully sold. Like they like, there's certain things, but like it feels like something is still missing, and he needs to be able to learn how to talk on the mic. And if you can start shooting promos, then it'll take him to that next level. But if he stays kind of at the skill set that he's at, he's only going to be able to go so far, where you can give him a belt, you can make him champ, but I mean, is he going to get over with the fans? Besides the like people like to bark and they know it's the Steiner family, but I feel like I need to be able to see you cut a promo to take it to the next level, to justify you being like the top guy in the company at one point, if it ever comes to that. Or we might have the Penta Continental Championship happen here tonight. Oh, nice counter. Who's better than Canyon? Nobody. Hell yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, Alex Wright. Berlin. Oh, big elbow. Psychosis. La Parka. I miss that stuff. Chavo. Fit Finley, and then being able to see like Dean Malenko, and I don't know. It just like, I think it depends on, when you grew up. And I mean, the 80s and 90s had so many amazing things across the board. Midian, Viscera. I can name drop for days, going with the Bushwhackers and Luke and Butch, just depends on how deep you want to go. The Brooklyn Brawler, Honky Tonk Man. This conversation will never end. Dragunov is probably more entertaining, to watch, on the screen, but again, for Braun, for him, it's more of like, okay, Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner, you're part of the Steiner family. You have the look, but it's like Roman. If you aren't able to learn how to be like an evil heel on the mic, you're only going to be able to go so far. Like he could end up being, something pretty big at one point, but oh yeah, Canyon and Mortis. Fuck yeah, man. Love that shit. The Eliminators. I like, Perry Saturn and, the Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero, right? Chris Benoit, even though that name is not supposed to be talked about, right? But like, I got a lot of good memories. Of course, no one really knows truly what happened. Everyone assumes that, that Benoit did everything, but no one really knows, if there was foul play involved as well. But as far as like watching in the ring, the Rabid Wolverine, You know, the shit with the family and the wife and the kids, horrific. You know, if that is what, you know, truly did happen, which no one knows besides them and maybe the people that were involved, if there was foul play. But I miss that old school era. Ravens flock. Lodi. What you guys know about Lodi? Yeah, and it shows you just because like you're in a famous family, you know, it doesn't mean that everyone's going to enjoy it. Almost like, you know, Natty. Natty does a great job at what she does and the style that she has, and she's been employed by the company for a long, long time, you know, but sometimes, you know, people will look at certain people based on the family that you're in. Not to say that she had a silver spoon and had an easy way to get in. You know, Natty has earned her dues and has been with the company for a long period of time, deservedly so. You know, but some styles of wrestling are going to be, I think, more fun to watch. And I feel like the Braun Breaker moveset isn't really ideal. You know, no one really wants to see a fucking spear, you know, honestly. But Braun would be great to have a faction, you know. Nice super kick there by Penta. Vampiro, that's a fucking amazing one. Muda. Glacier looking like fucking Sub-Zero. Man, I got so many goddamn of those memories, dude. Let's go, Penta. Oh, 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 oh. Let's go, Penta. Oh, 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 oh. There we go. I like it, man. You know, it just, you want to let that creativity come out, and whatever that first person that tries to lead the chant, you know, you got to go with it, you know. Because I don't think Braun is boring to watch in the ring. You know, he's entertaining in the ring. It's just that we got to get that mic skills going. Oh, my. There, whip a snapper. Penta. 2, 2. Dude, they had some of the best skits with the APA where they have the door and then they would be gambling. And then you had people like walk through the door with like nothing attached to it. And they're like, dude, why didn't you knock? Like, great, funny ass shit with The Rock and many others. Oh, look at Braun. Oh, Braun. Look at the strength. 2. You want to watch some like Elite Tajiri, you can watch that on ECW. Whole nother level when you watch that compared to his WWE run. Same thing with RVD. You know, you only get a fraction of what you get really in his prime in ECW. Like ECW, you might have some of the best wrestling ever that most people have never seen. Oh, wow. Good sell by Braun. Braun sells really well for being a big guy. You know, it's hard to move that body. Penta! Braun did not help Penta very much right there. He barely like let him pretty much fall on his back. He's like, bro, you were supposed to kind of like brace my fall a little bit. Braun's like, fuck that. If I'm losing the belt today, fuck you. Oh, Gold Dust, Booker T, Stone Cold in the supermarket. Oh! Two. Wow. I love destroyers and I love high impact. Oh, baby. Off the spike, too. Because it's not only the guy doing the move, it's the guy that's selling the move that makes it amazing to take it over the top. And Braun has improved at selling quite a bit. Well, Penta is tall. You know, he's not like a 5 foot lucha. You know, he's tall. So it's like you're not getting Rey Mysterio out of him. You know, you're getting like a more athletic La Parka. Wow. Two. Oh. Braun's got the swag, you know, but it's like something's missing, you know, the extra mic skills, joining a faction. I mean, you can have your solo run, but it feels like the product, you know, they're cooking, but we're left with like, and we need a little bit more. Oh. Oh, Carlito. Oh, that's cool. Spear, that's cool. Oh, Dom. Dom costing Penta. Want to get a Penta Dom feud? Finn Balor. Where the hell did Finn Balor come from? I love that. That's such a great fucking look, dude. Mortis. That's an amazing photo, dude. That was always one of my favorite, like, ring gear. Like, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that is so neat. Such a unique look. He said, I'm going to hit him with a Van Daminator. I miss Bill Alfonso. I miss Joey Styles. That's great commentary. Oh, big chair shot. Dude, it's kind of crazy to even think that Carlito is back. I mean, you know, after missing so much time, it's pretty rare. And that is it, huh? Well, love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Raw's been good every night, you know, even though some of the shows have been a little bit earlier. But appreciate every single person that liked, donated, commented, shared. Appreciate you. Odin, anything that you want to see photo-wise before I go? You want me to share the ones that you sent before we go? I got to throw at least those two up. Yeah, but keep sending me the Adam Pearce stuff, before the show starts on that day. All right, I'm going to send them back to you on the X, and then I can pull it from there here. Nah, I got to show it, man. I got to show at least the two, and then we'll go. Got to, man. Our truth. And it's cool to be able to like have someone that recognizes those same names in WCW. But what a cool look. It's like fucking Skeletor, but green. And a little bit of Mortal Kombat kind of influence look, to it too. Again, 80s and 90s wrestling, fucking undefeated, dude. But again, they're definitely making it very interesting nowadays. Love the look. Remember the look. Okay. The Juggalos. Yeah, I was about to say, Wee Man and our truth, the ICP. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Odin, you're the man. Jeffrey, thanks for chilling. And everyone else that came through, Natman as well. I got one question for you. Well, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Have a great rest of your Monday evening, and I'm out. Gang.